So let's go ahead over that. And while you load up, we'll go and change stream title, Factorio, preparing Aquilo technologies for the final ship. Factorio. Good. Move myself over. Set up screen region. We'll do Factorio for like an hour. I'm not going to go crazy late on it tonight, but I want to get all of the Aquilo technologies that we need done, and I want to set up the initial manufacturing that we're going to need. I also want to make a second Aquilo ship. So we're going to try and get all of that done tonight. Starting with you. Our second Aquilo ship. Do I actually have your blueprint on me right now? I don't think I need this. Definitely don't need that anymore. Probably don't need that. Probably don't need that. Don't need that. That's my good wall segment. That's my good diagonal wall segment. All right, we need to take a new blueprint of the ship. And I had an idea for how to start it faster. So this is going to be Aquilo ship phase 1. And it is going to be the Aquilo ship with no laser turret and with no foundry. So it's just going to be the essentials that we need for startup without any of the unnecessary power draw. And then Aquilo ship phase 2 will be everything. But we'll build phase 1 first. We'll wait for the water tanks to fill up, and then we'll build phase 2. And that should get it up and running much faster overall. Also, you need to change your background audio around. No, you need to change your game audio around. There you go. So let's go get this ship up off the ground. We are going to need a space platform starter pack, which somehow I have all of the ingredients for on me. And I think we're waiting on agricultural science to run that right now. We should have a pretty decent stockpile of Aquilo science built up. But we'll go take a peek at the labs and find out. Are you running? No, it is waiting on Aquilo science. All right. I thought I would have been producing enough of that, but apparently not. All right. Well, knock yourself out. These look like they're ever so slowly getting drained out, which is kind of nice. So let's go ahead and make... Stop. Let's go ahead and make one ship. This is going to be the Aquilo... I'm running out of synonyms. Provisioner, Voyager, Navigator, Nomad, Sojourner, Expeditioner. We're going to create that on Navis. Go ahead and launch you, turn you back on to automatic requests, and then when you get up there, we will apply our phase 1 blueprint. And then when our phase 1 blueprint is done, we will apply phase 2. And as that runs, we're just going to keep working on our technologies to get A, railgun, and B, processor. So there's Aquilo Expeditioner done. Give me phase 1 of you. Good. And I'm just going to let that auto request. It should fill up eventually. You still running, or did you use everything? You're slowly using it up. We might get to 100 off of that. What's this hold up, though? You have 1,000 on you. Are we not requesting enough on Novice? Not even close to enough. Let's ask for 1,000 again. I think you might get there, but then I want to transition to a Leva technology because I want to start eating all of the spoilage. I also don't really think you care about that, but I'm not really sure. You'll have enough to get there, especially if you do this. There we go. Alright, so we need to wait for another shipment of that to come back in. What do I want to work on from Gleba? I can do some plastic bar productivity real quick. And let's start eating all of this agricultural science off the belt so it doesn't sit there and spoil and go to waste. So, what else can I work on while we're just standing around on Novice doing nothing? How are our resource patches doing? We're great on coal. We are great on stone. Great on copper. Real great on copper. Iron is holding in there. Iron is also holding in there. Uranium is looking great. I don't actually think we need to set up any new mines. These just work great. But we gotta find something to do while this builds. You could... You could research a level of artillery. And you could make wall defense a little more interesting. Hey, abuelita. How's it going? You have so much just shells that aren't really doing anything right now. How expensive are these technologies at this point? 16k? You could actually knock that out fairly quickly. Maybe you do that. Oh, wait, I could also knock out some quality mods for the ship, depending on where my casino is. I don't think I ever built a casino. I think that we have ignored quality almost entirely. So I'm actually kind of interested to see if that affects my ability to get to the solar system edge. I don't think it will. I think that's more of like a shattered planet kind of thing. But yeah, we never built a casino. I just kind of forgot, I guess. There's been a lot of other stuff going on. Made it to the edge without quality? Alright, good to know. You are about to head back to Nauvis and drop off a bunch of cryogenic science. So let's get fusion queued up. Well, we don't need to yet. We'll drain the egg off the belt first. Which, speaking of, is Gleba broken yet? No? Looks functional. That's a relief. At least Gleba's working for a change. But all of your ag science is gone. So let's go ahead and start fusion. Because you're going to be back any second. And then we will have more Promethium science, or not Promethium science, cryogenic science, than we really know what to do with. You're still starting up. You have everything except for your platforms at this point, basically. Oh no, but as the platform expands, you're going to request more. I remember how you were. See if we can maybe empty some of these chests out. Unfrick our logistics network after all this time. It's mostly just a bunch of raw materials. So temporarily I can just move them up to here. And then I can have the logistics system just find a place for them. Like it's already drawing steel and copper and all that stuff out of there. So that's good. That's a good sign. And then when fusion reactor is done, we need to head back to Aquilo, because we're going to need to set up the factory that produces fusion power plants, and also the factory that produces quantum chips, because I'm pretty sure we need those for railguns. Yeah. Made in cryoplant only, but actually doesn't technically need to be made on Aquilo. Which is interesting. We could also make ourselves the railgun, the personal railgun. We'll finally have something that can kill medium and large demolishers on Volcanus if we so choose. You can have all of this copper. Almost done. You're probably going to stall out fairly soon because it looks like we are out of our Prometheum science. And this trip takes a while. How much have you built up in the time that this thing has been going? Oh, you're actually almost done. You know, Aquilo kind of just chugs along. I'm pleasantly surprised by the fact that, I think Aquilo just works. So what are you doing here? We can start to take some of these down, actually. Let's see how many storage chests I can actually take apart at this point. You got everything from over here. I don't think you've left many. Oh no, there's a random garbage chest over here. I remember you. Which means there's also going to be a random garbage chest here. And indeed, there is a ton of random garbage in those. But the iron ore specifically, we're probably going to have to haul over to the foundry. Don't think these boxes serve any real purpose. Oh, fusion's done already. Holy cow, that was fast. Okay. Do I need to research solar system edge? Apparently not. Or I did already and just forgot. Let's also do water fill. I'm actually not sure why we haven't done water fill already. There we go. Do I care about portable fusion? I don't think I really care about portable fusion that much. Do I care about railgun damage? I'm not sure, but maybe. We'll just work on plastic bar productivity for a little bit. We'll let it do its thing. We will probably appreciate having it around later. Actually, if I just throw iron... Well... No, you shouldn't do that. You should actually find a home for this iron. I don't think there's anything in the base that consumes it. The only thing that would consume iron ore is concrete, and we're making that with molten metal right now, not solid. So we'll just run this over the forges. Expeditioner is about a third built. We still struggle with ag size throughput. Is that a gleba problem? Yes. But it's close. It's a gleba problem, but it's really close. We wouldn't have to scale gleba up by much to meet that science demand, but I think what we should do instead is not run concurrent gleba research. We can give the egg science a chance to rebound, so we should do like gleba science, finish LDS, do a gleba science again, do a emag science, and then do gleba science again. Just stagger them. I don't think our current SPM is going to mean it takes more than an hour to research basically anything. We should be generating a ton of research right now. And you're still working away. These are not going to be your conditions, though. So let's get rid of those for now. Also, do you make cargo hub or cargo expanders in the bus? I don't think you do. You could maybe set those up. Cargo bay. What's your stack size? 10. Rocket capacity? 10. How about less than 100? No, you have 400. You make these somewhere. Where do you make those? Oh, up there. Yep, alright. I do not need you here then. We do have those. Ship is just taking its time sending them up, I guess. Let's keep consolidating all these. Probably don't need long-handeds. Probably don't need blues either. Need to figure out something to do with wood. Chain signals train cars should not be necessary to hold on to. That's our plastic productivity done. What's your ETA? Your ETA is going to be weird until all of the science turns on. We just need to let you run for a bit. There's about 30,000 left, and you do 1,400 per minute. It's going to be like 17 minutes, something like that. Egg science goes bad in 30. That should be just fine. Also, potential problem here. I need an active provider chest that goes here. And then I need an inserter that goes here that filters on spoilage in case it spoils in the train. And then I need a better way to actually destroy spoilage, because right now this won't cut it. So we can do this. Connect you to the logistics network. We can enable you when spoilage greater than, let's say, 5,000. And then that'll keep our spoilage under control, so that there's actually a place to put spoilage if we need to pull it out from other places in the logistics network. And then as soon as the bioflux train gets back, we can empty out that spoilage that made its way in there. We can get rid of this orphaned chest. Looks like 17 minutes is going to be a pretty decent estimate on that. We have a little extra space in there. Probably don't need all of that. And you know what? You also don't need 48 nuclear fuel cells now that I look at it. You can put those in there too. Eventually those will find their way up to a ship. Which, speaking of, it's getting there. That's your first load of solar panels. So this whole system is gradually going to start turning on. But we really want to get the collectors up here so we can start grabbing ice. Also not taxing the logistics network at all. I can't believe that 500 drones are keeping up with all the stuff that has to get done down here, but they are doing an admirable job of it. I wonder if you're actually bottlenecked on space platforms. Let's go find out. Building a few more space platforms might not be a bad idea. You make those down here, I think? Yeah. No, not even close to being bottlenecked on this. And if you wanted to, you could make it go a lot faster. So that should push you forwards a little bit. You still have no collectors inbound, but you're working through all your other stuff. And you are down to needing just 472 platforms. So that ship is going to turn on very soon. Once it turns on, and we build up a stockpile of water so that the nuclear reactor can turn on. Which, speaking of, probably want that on. Then we can put phase 2 of it up, and once we've stockpiled a little bit of ammo, we can fly it out to like Fulgora to get larger asteroid selection, and then once we're on Fulgora, then we can fly out to Aquilo. We can build our railgun production, we can build our quantum chip production, and away we go. We're also now hitting the point where we start to run out of normal sciences. Because we just didn't think we would need that much. But that's fine. Although it is going to negatively impact your, freshness of Gleba Science. So let's put some Gleba Science in real quickly. Holy shit, that goes fast. They did not realize the Health 2 was that short of a technology. I guess give me Health 3 and then give me rocket fuel productivity. Only takes 400 science. Yeah, that's gonna go like nothing. Okay. You're down to 272. With no active launches, because we're sending all of your fuel up right now. And these only go up in stacks of 10, so that's going to take a little while. We're a quarter of the way to having enough fuel on board. How's this stone mine doing? You good? Yeah, you're good. Sticking with nuclear for this ship? For this one, yes, but this is not going to be the Edge of Solar System ship. This is going to be the second Aquilo ship. So that I have a ship that I can ride to and from Aquilo without waiting for the Sojourner. And also so that I can ship like railgun parts around and quantum processors around and stuff. I just needed a second ship to make logistics to Aquilo not a total mess. So that's what this one's going to be. We're going to go and set up the factories for railgun production tonight. We're going to go and set up the factories for quantum processor production tonight. And we're going to build the single fusion reactor that we need, because I don't think we're going to need more than one of those things. So one of you makes 100 megawatts of power. Our current nuclear setup on this platform makes 80. No, it makes 160. Wait a minute. Do I need way more fusion than I thought? I thought I could do a single fusion reactor. Generates plasma 4 per second. Consumes plasma 2 per second. Yeah, you only ever generate 100 megawatts. I think I'm going to need a double fusion reactor. Yeah, I know it gets neighbor bonuses. I just thought that, like, one fusion reactor would be better than 2 nuclear reactors side by side, and it's not. Can I, even though... Can I plan some of these? So they have plasma flow through. I know that. So I might need to do something like this. Actually, how do I get plasma flow through and chloroketone flow through? I guess it doesn't really matter. You could just do like this. Don't build that, though. Let's go find a corner of the map where there aren't logistics network coverage. So we would want something like this. You are going to generate how much? You're going to generate 400 megawatts. And you're going to make... No, it increases the temperature of the plasma. What's the rate? I have never played with fusion power before. I'm gonna go find a fusion power calculator. Factorio, fusion, ratio, calculator. That is already way too complicated. Can you just put it in a table? Plasma consumed to generate electricity and amount of hot fluoride ketone equal to the amount of plasma consumed. Organic map, 9 fluid connection points. Plasma can't go into pipes. They have to place in close proximity to fusion reactors. So I have that flow through. Like, I can do this. Assuming that the ratio is right. You can do something like that. Or something like this. But what's the ratio, though? Does Factorio cheat sheet have it yet? Would you be updated? you're not updated. Am I just overthinking this? I'm unsure. But I know I'm definitely going to need 2. So if the ratio is 1 to 2, because this outputs 4 plasma per second, and this consumes 2. What does the nuclear reactor say? Neighbor bonus. You know what? I think the neighbor bonus is on the target temperature, and the fusion generator scales with temperature. Is, I think, what I remember reading. So if that's true, and we'll test this on the ground before we put it on a platform, then this makes 8 seconds, 8 per second of plasma, and I would only need 4 of these. Which we could do like this, and like this, and that would share plasma between all of them. I don't like that it's not compact. So how can I get it more compact? With the caveat that you cannot put plasma in pipes. Not like that, because you have no way of taking out the hot fluoroketone. Does this get you anything? Not really. Because you need them to be able to connect at some point. I mean, you can do like that, and that's actually reasonably compact. Because then you can have your fluoroketone inflow and outflow done relatively easily. Like this. And then it would go directly into a cryo plant. Like this. So like that'll do. I think that's probably the fusion configuration that we'll need to use. If I'm understanding it correctly. Also, you are done. So right now you should be building up a steam bank. And you are. The steam turbines are filling. Am I not hosting the EU GVG 15s anymore? I heard that they were cancelled. Are they not? I heard that they weren't happening anymore. You feel like the math is wrong? I mean, it might be wrong. But I'm pretty sure that the neighbor bonus increases the temperature of plasma, and the generators run better the hotter the plasma is. So if it's all about plasma temperature, then this would be fine, because it would be 8 plasma per second. I thought I was supposed to host it. I mean, I said I was going to broadcast it, but there's organizational changes that I want to make to how I run GVGs in the future, and I wasn't going to have them done before that EU tournament. But the lead said that they were just going to go ahead and organize it anyway because everybody wanted to play. Or at least that's the last thing I heard about it. Has that plan changed? Are they not doing it anymore? Like I haven't really looked at Discord today, honestly. Steam is still filling, and this is just going to be a product of waiting for ice asteroids. So I need to wait until I'm seeing water here, until I start to turn anything else on. Until that, we're still going to be in startup phase. So let's save this. This is going to make it onto one of our platforms eventually. We'll just squirrel it away. We'll kill that. We need to make 2 of these. Tungsten superconductor quantum processor times 2. And then we need 4 of these. Tungsten superconductor quantum processor. So we need to take a Volcanus trip first, then we need to take a Fulgora trip, and then we can go to Aquilo. And for the quantum chips themselves, they take 1 of everything. Processing unit we'll have on the surface. Tungsten carbide we also need to pick up. Carbon fiber we'll also need to pick up. So this will be good. Our fueling run for the Aquilo Expeditioner is going to be the one that gets everything ready to go on that. We just have to wait for it to spool up. And you're fine. Yeah, with our limited SPM, we dropped to like 850. We would need to scale science up again to get even more production out of that. I'm not convinced that I want to do that, though. We can run just over half of them with the science bottleneck that we have. But also, I don't want any of that Gleba science to spoil. Or at least I want to use it while it's still fresh, so we'll just queue up another Gleba technology to eat some of it. And then we'll empty inventory in anticipation of departing. Like, if that EU15's tournament isn't happening anymore, I should go and figure that out after I'm done with stream. Because I was going to need to schedule some real-life stuff around it in order to be able to make it. So, if it's not happening anymore, I gotta go, like, make sure of that, because there's some real-life plans that I can make in its place, if that's going to be the case. I also need to send a single constant combinator and single decider. Single decider, single constant. Give me green chip. Give me copper wire. Boom, boom. Put these back. Set you to manual. Send these 2 up. As soon as that rocket is done being built anyway. Deliver cargo to Expeditioner. Set you back on automatic. So that'll take care of the circuit logic. I'm actually not sure how you're getting ice when you're not being told what to grab by this decider combinator. But that's going to halt this whole process until we actually get them signaled for what things they're allowed to grab and what things they aren't allowed to grab. So we'll go address that quickly. There you go. Now you're allowed to grab anything you want. That is going to let most of this platform turn on. And then we continue to look for things to do while that ship finishes its final startup. But I don't think there's really any super necessary tasks that we have to do down here. Like, No, Vs just kind of runs. Do we do anything with reprocessed fuel, actually? Yeah, we do. We do here. But why is this jammed? Wait, is this actually a problem? I think that is actually a problem. What do you do with excess depleted uranium? We'll just put it in a box. I'll say storage chest here. You hold the dull stuff. You grab off the belt. And then we want to hook you up to this green circuit here. And we want to say you're enabled if this is greater than 80. Because we need to leave some on the belt so that it can fund the Covrex enrichment process. That at least lets us keep destroying these, and then it also prioritizes the use of the... Why are you done? Greater than 80. That's fine. It also prioritizes the use of the U-235 that comes out of the fuel reprocessing in the Covrex process, which just keeps that whole organizational system tidier overall. Beam approaching 163. Still no water yet, though. It's all still getting converted into fuel. I will actually need... No, I won't need a blueprint for that. I can just copy it off of the other ship. Getting very close now. And then we have these things running at the back, which are hopefully going to turn all of our random asteroid bits that we don't need into the oxide asteroids that we do. So if you grab anything, we're turning it into oxide right now. Except for that one, which we have no way of reaching. And then these should start filling up any second now. Then once steam tanks are full, water tanks fill up, but once water tanks start to fill up, we can put in all of the rest of the stuff that we need. I mean, arguably, we could put down the foundries now, because the only reason we need the water is so that we have a steam buffer, and we can actually power the platform without relying on these random solar panels all over the place. But we'll let it sit there just a little bit longer. Give it full time to start up, and then we'll proceed. Keep working on emptying some of this stuff out in the meantime. What? It's that random turret again. That happened on one of the other ships too. This turret just randomly takes fatal damage sometimes. It's very odd. I think maybe we've bitten off more than we can chew with trying to empty that box. Oh no. Put it in an active provider. They'll find a place for it. aim at 596. My thinking specifically is that if we can generate enough water to get into flight to Volcanus, then we could bring the foundries up a little early. And as long as we have gun ammo, then our asteroid density carries us the rest of the way. So maybe what I do is I grab just this section of the ship and paste it here. No, because then you don't have laser turrets to take care of the right side. I think you should just take the whole ship. Paste it. And then nothing can run for explosive manufacture without this. This foundry is crucial. So these couple will run, but without iron, or, yeah, no, these will never run because they'll never get iron. And as long as we just have bullets, then we can fly to, like, Fulgora, because Fulgora has good oxide asteroid density. And then we can get our fuel together. Because we'll have oxide asteroids for days, and once we have oxide asteroids, everything else just kind of falls into place. Let's try that out. You just get so much more stuff once you're actually in flight. Although now that I think about it, you haven't actually made fuel, have you? No, you've made 0 fuel so far. That's going to be the other wrinkle in your plan. Is that this ship currently does not move. You don't really have a convenient way to stop that, though. Because your water hookup is direct here. Like, you'd have to destroy this heat exchanger. Well, not necessarily. You could kill this pipe. And then half your water would flow into fuel. Yeah, try that. Just remember to put those pipes back later. They're very, very important. So now any ice that you get should be used to make fuel. Oh, but you know what? The oxide is never going to make it over here to this crusher to get calcite in the first place. Yeah, I do need to wait on this thing. It's so painfully slow. Like, you've made oxidizer, but you're not going to be able to make thruster fuel until you get oxide asteroids coming all the way over here, and that won't happen until these water tanks back up. So you do need to wait for that steam to fill. Alright, back to Novius we go. If that's going to be the case, then I am just going to hitch a ride on the Sojourner next time it shows up. These ships need way more startup time than I really ever anticipated. Almost risk switching it out for fusion. Almost. I want to build a fusion prototype, though, before I put one on a ship. Just so I can learn how it works. So you have none science on board currently. We just need to wait for 30 more. I can be patient. As far as where this manufacturing is going to go, railgun takes quantum processor cold fluoroketone. This is cold fluoroketone. So you can leach off of this pipe. You're only ever going to need one plant that's manufacturing this, and it's going to be bot controlled. So you will make railgun turret. Those are all items that we're going to ship in, except for fluoroketone. And I think you're going to run heat pipe across like this. So that you can break those 3. And you can run that direct across. So that's your fluoroketone in. Whoop. With your fluoroketone done, you're going to need requester and storage. Storage is going to hold railgun. You're going to be connected to logistics network. You are going to make railguns as long as railgun is less than 50. And you're going to request all the things you need for that. Here and here. And that's going to be the heat pipe that keeps you at an appropriate temperature. You're also going to need fusion reactor manufacture. Made in cryoplant. This is going to be much easier. Because you don't need any fancy fluid routing. You are going to make fusion reactor. You are going to do that if fusion reactor is less than 20. Where's Amanda? Amanda's downstairs. Sounds like she's reading. Maybe watching YouTube. I'm not actually sure. I'm gonna be down here in like 10 minutes, and I'll go check on her. Where are your roboports? You only have 1. Well, you're gonna need a second one. And then you're going to need a third one. And then probably a 4th one to cover the rocket bed. But that's going to be your bizarro logistics drone network, but it'll work. And then you need to make these. The actual generators. Same logic condition for you, except we're going to double it. So fusion generators are making 20. Or fusion reactors are making 20. For you, we're going to make 40. What's this? More random turret damage. What is happening? Is it power spikes? Doesn't look like it should be power spikes. How do you keep taking all this damage? I'm so confused. You have so much ammo on the build. It can't possibly be an ammo problem. The only thing that it could be is an asteroid density problem. Or a power problem, I guess. But we'll revise that later. 5,000 steam. Good, so this is your manufacturing spine for all the stuff that's important. The other thing that you're going to need here is actually manufacturing chips in bulk. That is going to consume cold fluoroketone and make hot fluoroketone. How much capacity do you have to deal with that? You can currently cool 8 per second. And 3 of these is 1. So 1, 2, 3 and a bit. You have capacity to cool 5 more. Let's just look. You make 0.3. So I can have about 15 of these. And you're making enough cold fluoroketone for that too, right? So you make hot initially, but 10 per second. You consume. Wow, I'm gonna need more fluoroketone production. Holy cow. We make 20 per second, but you're already using up 6. So we have 14 spare. 14.66. Oh, 21? Yeah, okay. You can get away with 16 EMAG plants then, probably. And you're going to need extra lithium plate for that, which you will also probably draw off of this belt. Just for convenience. Because everything's there already. So you're going to do quantum chip manufacturer like here. And then you're going to belt it to basically right in front of this RoboPort. In fact, just put it in now. Because I want drones to travel as little distance as possible. So you're going to go like that. Is that how you're going to do that? I can do this a little cleaner. What's up, Ifaro? Double add an emote. Which two would you like me to add? Let me know what they are, and I will go take care of them. I have received them. I will go take care of that in just a moment. I want to make sure I don't lose my train of thought. I think that works. And then I can send this a long ways underground, so I don't have to worry about heating it. And then I can send this a long ways underground. And it's next to a heat pipe, so I don't have to worry about heating it. So this is the belt that is going to carry quantum chips out. Do you really like that, though? Because all the stuff to make those chips, you're going to need to pull out of the cargo landing pad. You know what? You're right. I don't think you like this over here at all. I think you need to make it as close to the cargo landing pad as possible. So undo all of this planning. This can stay. Also, you have to move this rocket silo. This rocket silo is the bane of your existence. It's crowding you out of everything. It's preventing you from putting down more storage hubs. It needs to go. You need to get rid of it. Also, I think you missed your opportunity to jump on board the Sojourner. I think it's done its trip and left again already. You're down to 2,800 steam, but that's because you're putting ammo on the belt at this point. We still haven't made thruster fuel, though. Alright, I'm not waiting. Come back. I'm just gonna summon you back now. Because I need to get onto Aquilo, and I need to move that rocket pad. I hate where that rocket pad is. So as soon as you get here, we'll jump on board. Right, I have added both. Go far out. You should be good to go. Hey, it even gives me the little confirmation. Alright, you're halfway to Gleba. While we wait for you, let's figure out what these are going to look like. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are going to have annoying fluid pass-throughs. So you're going to take in... Oh, it's going to be so annoying. We're just going to need to run it like this. And then we'll grab you. Flip horizontally. These may actually need to be underground. I might actually end up needing that space for inserters. Because these take 4 ingredients. 5 ingredients. So at a minimum, we're going to need a belt. No, because that's going to need to be heat pipe. It is actually mandatory that this is heat pipe. Give me another rank of asteroid productivity. This is the kind of thing that feels like it would be a lot easier if you would just allow yourself to use logistics bots. But I think this is a more interesting challenge. So we're going to do it this way. Like one set of logistics bots, and this is very easy. Instead, we're going to try and belt it all. So definitely heat pipe through there. That takes care of everything on the back, but you haven't actually heated your circuit plants yet. But they don't need fluid intake on the front, so you're fine. And then that's going to pull 2 ingredients. This is going to pull 4. And this is going to pull 5. Which means you'll need belt here and here. Put it in now. You're also going to need heat to actually touch the plants and the inserters, which you can do like this. Which means these can go underground here. And this can go underground in the same place, I guess. But then how do you heat that belt, though? How do you heat that belt? No, wait, this isn't the way you have to do this. There's another way. The other way would be to run inserters here. And to make liberal use of underground. So you're going to come up here. You're going to go under, like this. You can heat those. Like this. And then what does that let you do? Well, it's very simple. It lets you roll red inserters here. And then how do you connect those up? You connect them up like this. So now you have 6 total ingredients. No output? Fuck. You're right. I need output on this too. You think this is why people use bots on Aquilo? I bet it is, man. Yeah, it seems like an absolute nightmare to do this without bots. I think there's a solution in there somewhere. I am going to choose to not pursue it. I am going to become a soft man, a weak man. And I'm just going to use bots for it. I'm getting on the Sojourner. Gaps between machines. Yeah, but then I can't use fluid pass-throughs, and then I need to put more heat pipe down. If I'm putting more heat pipe down, then it's a bigger build. Like, I'm gonna be a coward, and I'm just gonna use bots. I'm sure you could do it without bots, but I've already given up on the no bots caveat in order to make the railguns, because I didn't feel like botting to the railguns. So if I'm gonna bot for the railguns already, I might as well just bot for the quantum processors as well. Off we go. Aquilo, please. To Aquilo. So if we're gonna bot it, first of all, this rocket silo needs to move. It's going to go probably like up here. And then I can use a splitter on the rocket fuel belt. Probably right there. Send both of them underground and then drop that one out that way. And then that spur is just going to go right into the rocket silo. There's going to be a second set of inserters that come out the top here and place things onto a splitter in this style, which is going to be the low density structures and the processors, and that's going to be what actually builds the rockets. There's going to be probably 4 storage hubs that come off this way, depending on how much I can fit. And then I'm going to dedicate this whole bottom side to the bot logistics for pulling stuff out of the hub. And that should be that taken care of. And I also think I should have enough garbage on Aquilo's surface right now that I can just make those. It does kind of plod. Overall, it's a fairly reliable design. I can't be too mad at it. It does its job. It's just a little bulky. Expeditioner, on the other hand, has actually run out of steam. And it's run out of steam because ammo manufacturer is trying to keep up. But with those off, we shouldn't be draining as much power out of this thing. Or I guess maybe we aren't, because like you can't grab, well no, you can grab. You're grabbing ice ever so slowly. I may have tried to start this ship too early. Oh no, it's still trying to melt stuff down. Yeah, firearms are not done. You're 800 of 1,000. Okay, that's fine. It's slow, but I don't need that ship to be up and running right now. It's fine. Alright. Let's go get this taken care of, shall we? There's much work to do down here.